Yeshe Doso Yela Konge Padirawa Rigbe Dorje Shaolang Chan Tara Panden Save Lama Rinpoche Dage Chewara Pende Denyon Katin Shembe Gwane Jesong De Kosong Toje Ngondo Tado So Tangana So Tana Shoki Yang Drupin Thrangu Yönten ni Shuba Singete Ngote Song ne Ta tela ma ye len somba se Terchen ke len sonsa tela to de wadex. Tene te indu kapsula namos ye Terchen je Lama namlan de me ranke rankyong menton wasa ro yen la kata jeta na rankyong lan zusup jebanda ta Terchen kone ke Song Yönten ta namo sen chan salos je Terchen je Lama namlan de ta Terchen kone ke tab Lama namla sowa tabatang ta sosu ke Gyong de san mantong wa che sosu ke Gyong de mantong wa teng la tene ro yen la kada labya tela labja jaya tela tene penda wo ji yan kande ji do sen na range Gyong tela range do to de banda wo dos te on jan kongo me do che sta ina yang tenda wo jin do de ina yang chonan kingala labja jaro chi se koma che be ngote ya madopa micho be che kenang ke romo nawala skan nawanda wo tate kona ta pe romo da da wo pe ya de wo kenang romo nawala me yen ju la ta xin ma chi chang rangju chongbon de yu chel sme yen yu la kanden do ya bo chegin do da do bo chegin mendo Chökyong ta ba ji dogen do da yang ta ba ji dogen mendo da wa tende ke tak je sawa ni ma je chang tak je te ta wo ko nang yu ma jong ena yang rang chung chongbon de yu chel ena ya rang ge chong te ta rang chung rang ten ha ko yo de sin hindu ka so la rang chung chongbon de la yu be ju sen le ten ne chong yin sang ta le to ba me chong du cha yo wa tun do la ta ko na sang den de chong den de yo de sen ne ta ti ge sang ra wo de chu ya la ta to ba tan yo ma de se la to bu de to ba me ta yin yu le yin yu la ma ta rang chung sam yin chung de rang la go tong me sta yin yu la ma ta ne rang gi chung de ya po chen sam tong da tene yin gi chung de rang lang go yong ya ki to ba ta wa ni go ma de rang chung de rang gi ta ne tene te ta so yin do la ta ko na song to pa yin na yin paro po gi chung de chen na san go yong go ma de rang chung de nye song ting do che sta rang na yo be gi chung de ke tene nye song na che be ge tene ko na ta do ji ta yin na do de ge ma chu no ge ba te ta bu ting do che ge de me ko na lo ti ka na yang ton tambar chö ji lo ra me me so la yin na ya shen lo ne jang lo ti ka la ka bo de yin na ya ton tambar chö ji ta yang ta pe chö ji do ba yin na ta chö de ge tu ton ya ta so ra me lo tam be chö da lama to yo sen te la ten ta so su ge lo te ten tu nam da ya malab tam be chö te dang ten lama la lo te ba yin na te ma se pe ma se be ya bo de to sik ne na zumi chambon no sik na wa yin na yang zun da Milarepa ke ja chambo teni ne na ya bo de ten sam na yen la pensim ji la kon la ta na chome jong sta ton sam na ta yen la pensim te gon ju de yen pen gom ju de hira ke khar che mo de ton yang ta ba ji sam ba yin na ten yen la pen do che ya de gom la kon la ta na Chome Jones, then the Tanang Giant Hidaki Karchimbody, Dick Mege Jubo Pawa Te, start the one Mege was you, and Lunga Ye Somge, start the one Mege was Jubo Te, Pawa Te, certain ledge ngopo tabai, certain ledge ngopo tabai, Tova Janokan. Certain ngopo tabai, some ngopo tabai, Randon she ched Dobson, Rampong Chawa, Mamma she, Starang turn she. Chedo Dobsamba Londa Yopa Rang Pong Roya Gita Chawatane Mamma Wachana Karchim Body Yendon Gisambur Nanda Na Nyamchung La Rabji Jobandos Ta Yeno Gisambur Bandana, the yen paropola nebege Sambatang, Mosula Lugoni, Tenin Nobegi Chawache Bigi Joala, so Bateta was Sambat the Joa, Pound up by Yena, Teni Nyamchona, Yarab Jobando, Seminyamchung, Tamjela, Yarab Jobakari, Totamando Tatela, Nyejonda water, Tindendam and Masonda Wachena comes to be 4 days. Chun Tarson Zamboche Samna, Chun Tarchimbege, Tachu Yaboche Samna, then Koan Dele Jetando, Sta Koan Dele Tabig Tab Kare, Totem Nabochichen, the vacation bodies, the Mogaranyam. The Mogaranya. Sounded me Mrs. Sabatamando, Stemoge Royal City Castle the time. Stemoge one the son natal, Coda Lelung and the short song at the time, Coda Royal Senatanya, the wonder watch town, gave out the council of Takaya, Chawa Mando Batao, David Timo Tingola, one the song in. Take a ronya tell a two nam the young sound that was son yomaris. Tim maybe Johnson and then Mr. Sabatamando, say Homa, Mr. Tomjete. Don't there a person to the temple than a calcium body. Gum Niru Jeb Tula. Pap, Hendo Charge cover. Sona pens that gum la hiru chepi to la papa de mato. Kene Shiambata, Dochala Sobala Jesu Josona, then covered on and pay juries. Then for me, Chato Simba Ni, Tando Ji, Nili Chedami, Tando Nili Chedami. That certain summer, Sona Lake, so Shadanka Naman Jom Mission you, Kunzang Tomato. Tal Ni Fong Ki Ranking Nika sick, Sem Zopa Gyamtso Ke Chulaton, Ring Mirang Honge, Najar. Shumija. Sure, Lama Shejang Chesamcha, Rang take Rangi, Casalum, Rang take Rangi, Casalum, Rangu, Nyama, Nyapa Maserve, Ju Tunglong de Ranga, Mapa Pe Rangi, Nyambande. Juning de can't bang do say, Queen Japan. The bang do say, Queen Japan, laying in betado, Messende. Some gentlemen Rimchi, Pam, the Jula keep Namku Pong to Rang le Chungshi Chunga Shikabe Jurang To Rang Chunga Shikabe started. That was the Sosoni Chongli of a Shikabe. To Rang Chunga Shikabe. The Tajing Tabji Tozoncha, Sorte Sorana, Pan, Sorte Sorana, Pan, started that Sortundo Ganga, the Rana Jonkade, Yabakonik, Setam Jilla Pane, Tachana, Ne, Sena Labasewayins, to that turn Ransom Somande. YouTube ta loi Milarepa Rama so Saya me par chung ne jula damga ma chi chi som do je rewa me je chang thon do je nyanyo pang wa lek te thong chu thang kyo kyo ji ge jung Tang Chenang Sutum make the song same knowing the Pason the Tate Samji Migenche Kyutamche Chi Ranhop Cherang Slobu Nila Papa Show Jepang Sondupa Yönten, not of the court down, the Terchen Barway Dorje, Dorje, Parchem, Kakan, Dindro, Sanga, and Ling to Shiba Gaze, out there, subject and legend looks.
So we left off this morning with the request by this a monk, Yönten Ngodrup from Thrangu Monastery, for instruction. And essentially what he did in his request, as you'll remember, is go through a list of everything that he felt he had not realized or understood. The answer that Terchen Barway Dorje gives him, however, does not correspond point by point to the issues he raises. It's evident from the answer that Terchen Barway Dorje knew him well enough personally to determine what needed to be addressed in his answer. So first, the first part of the song, he addresses the issue of self-deception and hypocrisy. Then how to behave properly. Then how to recognize the 5 poisons. And then he briefly turns to the practice of meditating on the mind's nature. The Lord's reply, Namo, I bow to the kind Lord Gurus. And then he goes right into it. People don't see their own flaws. They gossip about their friends. Doing so is pointing a finger straight at their own flaws. When we speculate about or recognize a defect in someone else, and especially if it makes enough difference to us that we obsess about it, it is a clear indication that we possess that flaw ourselves, because otherwise it wouldn't interest us. However, as I don't wish to turn you down, I'll sing whatever song appears. Now, by saying that, he implies that basically what he's already said is what needs to be said to this guy. But he's going to go on. Don't look for others' faults. You know how coarse you are. You know how coarse you are. In English, it sounds like behavior, but it means you know how untamed and rough your mind is. And the implication here, Rinpoche said, is that there's no point in speculating about others' faults because we can't see inside their minds. We don't know what's really going on. But we do know how rotten we are. Unless we consciously choose to blind ourselves to our own faults, we're constantly experiencing them, because if we're suffering, it means we've got kleshas, and if we've got kleshas, we've got problems. So when he says, you know how coarse you are, it means that really you can only know your own faults. You don't have to speculate or imagine what's wrong with you. You know, you live with it. There is no end to the faults one could list. If we're honest, and if we wanted to actually write down everything that is wrong with any one of us, it would actually be potentially endless. Don't look at others' faults. Consider your own. So the advice here is, you can't know really what's going on with somebody else, but you must know what's going on with yourself. Now, a possible objection to that, of course, which he anticipates, is, but other people's defects cause me problems. So Terchen Barway Dorje says, others' faults need not affect you. Need not affect you means it's up to you whether you are affected by other people's kleshas, because they are contained within their minds, not your mind. On the other hand, your own faults anchor you to bad migrations. Anchor here is like the idea of an anchor dragging you to the bottom of the ocean. So, as Tom would say, cement overshoes. You know, it's like it's our own faults that drag us down, not others' faults. Although you can't trust everyone, in absolute truth, Dharma is infallible. He says, of course it's true that others may have faults. You can't trust everyone. You know you've got problems. You don't know what other problems others have. But there's one thing you can trust, and that's the truth of Dharma. So therefore, he says, direct your mind to holy Dharma and your Guru. So instead of speculating about others' faults, turn your mind to the Dharma. If you speak the truth. Now, by saying if you speak the truth, he's implying it might be better just to shut up and not to speak at all. But if you must speak the truth. If you think of others' benefit. You don't have to think, but if you're going to think about how to help others. Cultivate impartial, pure perception. This pure perception is the attitude of seeing everyone as inherently pure. And then he turns to behavior. Abandoning the 10 wrongdoings is truly pure morality. If you want to benefit yourself, don't do lots of self-destructive things. Actually, I translate it just as don't do self-destructive things, but I noticed when Rinpoche read it, there's a lots of. So don't do, heaps and heaps of stupid self-destructive things. If you want to abandon malevolence and harming others, behave with modesty and nobility. Modesty means not being arrogant, and nobility here means act like the best of people. Take your example for action by those who act the best, those who are worthy to take as an example. If you want to achieve dharmic perfection, flee as fast as you can from samsara. And now he turns to the 5 poisons. The first one being stupidity, but stupidity in the sense of giving in to indolence. And he talks about sleep here. The corpse-like stupor of sleep is endless. By endless, he means that it's never used up. No matter how much you sleep, you can always sleep more. You can always sleep again. And the way we sleep is like a corpse. We're utterly unconscious. The state of sleep is the stupidest state we can be in. And the more time we spend doing that, the less time we have to do anything worthwhile. So he says, you are running out of time in this human life. It is time to be courageous in meditation. Then in a similar tone, he turns to desire. Desire casts us into the prison of samsara. And this is very, very simple. If you don't have the klesha of desire, you cannot and will not take rebirth. It can't happen. The mechanism is not there. Desire casts us into the prison of samsara. Then he says, we make fetters of our spouses. We turn those we marry into our jailers or chains. We are frustrated in our wish for liberation. It is better to keep pure morality. And next, anger. The poison of anger conquers sanity. When we become angry, we become insane. We disturb others unnecessarily. Finally, everyone gets burnt. Be diligent in the virtue of patience. And then next, pride. And this one gets a longer bit. Pride is the basis of anti-dharma. More than any other klesha, pride actually turns us completely against the truth of dharma. You doubt the dharma taught by your guru. You vainly believe yourself to be more learned than them. Unaware that everyone despises you, you are fooled by your own cleverness. Proud people are ridiculous. When we are arrogant, everybody sees it, except us. Everybody sees it. If you think of famous people who are proud, yeah, I'm not naming names here, but, and talk about how great they are, they're ridiculous. There's nothing more ridiculous than arrogance. It's so obvious. As soon as we become proud, we become complete buffoons. You are fooled by your own cleverness. You end up rejecting even yourself. At a certain point, you become so arrogant, and I can say this from experience here, that you actually are so critical of everything that finally you have to be critical of yourself too, and you've got nothing left. Every one of us must abandon pride. And next, jealousy. Jealousy is bad karma indeed. Now, it's not that the others are not, it's just that jealousy doesn't even look like fun. The others can fool us into thinking they might make us feel better, but no one has ever had a moment of pleasure through jealousy. It accomplishes nothing and is self-defeating. Once it's got you, everything is ruined. Once you're afflicted by jealousy, and then he concludes this section by saying, it is hard to recognize our own poisons, but we have to examine ourselves and apply means to stem them. And then, everything I've written here has been to be writing you here. Conceptualizing the present moment of experience, or is thinking about the past or the future, is called stale, like stale bread. Don't alter it, intellect. Don't alter it means don't attempt to prolong what's in there or get rid of it either. Don't change it, don't attempt to replace one thought with another. And don't sully it with the intellect means don't turn meditation into sustaining a concept, such as emptiness or lucidity or awareness. Cultivate it by resting freely without addition or removal. Don't prefer stillness to movement. Sometimes we think that the absence of thoughts, stillness, is superior to the presence of thoughts, which is a trap. It is best not to hope for clarity or busily search for insight. Busily search for insight means to be like a dog that's sniffing here and everywhere to find the hidden bit of meat or whatever it is. Cultivate such virtue, such practice in sessions and as much as you can. So that means practice this in meditation sessions and cultivate this as best you can in post-meditation as well. Protect external and internal morality like your eyes. External morality is how you behave toward others with your body and speech. Internal morality is how you think, what your intentions are. Carefully avoid distraction of mind. This is all the advice this old man can offer. May it reach your heart, my disciple. And the words he uses in Tibetan for may it reach your heart kind of means may you be receptive to it. It's polite. It's like, may it land pleasingly on your heart, but that's kind of like, I hope you can listen to this. In response to the request of the diligent Yönten Ngudrup, this was written by Terchen Barway Dorje at the glorious hall of Mara Taming Secret Mantra.
Song of Töndar ji shubata tendu ne rendwa. Xiao Guangzhou Kundu Dorje Chang, Ting Kwame Lama Rinpoche, Gyamtso me Dundar Lingban King, Tu Sewa Chimbo Dala Gung, State, Sewa Tu Sewa Chimbo Gon Kola Gung Sol Senatan, Don Koran Kilamdo, Tu Ning me Kepo Tondala. Chenab je chachin mebar hyo, nge mogu je donkyo kebetse, nyamto je yeshe, pewan do, den sho sabar lama, Terchen Barway Dorje, ta korang ke sek ringtong yi ke kon hyunwa, den sho sabar lama, Terchen Barway Dorje, hing peme sardo, mental ta yu nze la mimi hinji wangi dajin doa mali an tamin kobe sole dobe tepon zo jik ransem chombon de la tongo tosap shula sta tonda ngoma data rangi semgi nelu rangi sem chombon de la ta tigi nelu ta ngoma ti kare yimba ti toro shi hen semgo huya ki tondre duwa shula He should be Ye Lin Song Ba, the Hodon de Sat.
No.
Ye Lin Song Ba, Namon Goro, Chökyong Tebe, Sobola, that station Chambe, Lensing Lep, Sem Mugu Lama Sang Yeso, Ye Tesam Mepa, Shebar Cha. Tayu Timo je donkyo Baba na Chenab jen juba ngepa la yu Lu tanjor nobo le jan kong Ta nye ne chedor Ta nye ne chedor sondeb go Chedor sondeb go Deche ye ngodab njongwa nge Se meta longse mamenda Ken tela samne tamcho dub lome jitsondu shola je le gede ke mala manona ten dedo ke dambala na yo tu namke yen la samdang ke pendo tang chujin chinu dub Rangdo je xente tene pang, yendong je samjo, chana yang, che kun tambe chö sundo, je sangje mesul dojen chang, gong tao lama chiol gom, te simje, mope kushambol, rang gosam poda chuma nor, Zen dogu menda tome bor gom tandela tabya po chinde na gom lame chelap dusi jun te chibo ne pap a tosum tang so nga da leji debata lame du jangbe me pa gom Te tsozo drepa chawan yor pa lame nesam wazirike da gosam drejan chenab hyo le posing chima yowa ye sem zome ye dongshyo sowa top te chenab chi paso nye par yo cho cho tumong cho tumong tumeji donga sang cho tumong tumeji donga sang ta ngoji chancho semni se che toso yola tongba kap rang rik pa nang shi ji sin te soma yembe macho pal ye teke tengdo duftab shu sem nenga sem ne ganjo sem ne ganjo jodu maji par sem nenga jodu maji par kanshar jingo teni chung lam kundu je donga teni reto jipana maji chik sem machu rikpa somate lon zento ki jala mechuk par son jache tang cholong taba yi ten khatar Kuyang je namjur zo kikser tang pondong mugu yin slume je kanya lame slume je kata lame hlop Yeshe je lalin slume chi Song namjin je dewa lat song lu tangyur topa tong che pa lame katin pamba zang cho pulab ji tope tere che ne ndem shima umit pulab pabu tomo kon sharyang zambe tende shu sik teki hlai shima ngo par Terchen Barway Dorje ne dang kasar chime shobula mati tiktai hat yikatap tiktai insa dulang
Tishtare, tenpa.
Den tong slunda bishu ji song sos tan dela sik mang chal khado ran re do
No. The mati tishta de lodru raptane do. An lodru tenda kani. The next exchange is fairly straightforward in its intent. It is a request for instructions on recognizing the nature of mind, and the request is preceded by a very beautiful, very concise prayer to Barway Dorje, written by the disciple requesting it. Therefore, the response gives that instruction in the context of an explanation of the entire Buddhist path as the cultivation of what we would call the Mahamudra of devotion, or the realization of the mind's nature through devotion. The disciple Töndar from the town of Tridu offered this. So this is the request. Vajradhara, personification of all refuges and the three jewels, precious Guru of kindness beyond recompense, peerless Lord, Dudu Lingpa, hear me. Dudu Lingpa is also one of the names of Terchen Barway Dorje. Consider me with great affection. Please rain down great blessings upon me, Töndar, an old man in a degenerate time. Now, old man in Tibetan doesn't mean that old. It doesn't mean what we would call a senior. In fact, they start calling themselves old men in their 40s, and I've even seen some in their 30s. Right? Töndar, an old man in a degenerate time, cause the wisdom of experience and realization to grow through my longing and devotion. Best guide, root guru, Terchen Barway Dorje, remain forever in my heart's lotus garden. Through undesigned compassion, lead me and all beings to freedom from this endless ocean of samsara. I ask for an introduction to the nature of my coarse mind. So here he's explaining through his supplication that he takes devotion as the basis of the path. When he says his request is very clear, I want you to introduce me to my mind's nature. And by saying my coarse mind, he makes it clear that he does not regard himself as having achieved an elevated level of training. The Lord replied, Namo Guru, you, my disciple, have faith in your heart. I will therefore answer you with affection and love. With devotion, know your Guru to be a Buddha. Have no doubt. If devotion's yearning blazes, the entrance of blessings is certain. And now he goes through the stages of the path, starting with the preliminary contemplations, summarizing all of them into one easily understood and conveniently practiced essence. Your body's freedom and resources are rarer than jewels. While you have them, cleanse yourself with prayer. The fulfillment of your wishes, now and later, is certain. Life is as impermanent as a candle in the wind. Think of this and practice holy Dharma. Without procrastination, be vigorous. If you don't mistake right and wrong actions, the choice between permanent pleasure and pain is in your own hands. Always be benevolent toward others. Help them, give, and offer as much as you can. Utterly abandon selfishness. If you are without malevolence in thought and deed, all your actions will become holy Dharma. Your protector, your root guru, is the Lord Buddha, Vajradhara, pretending to be a human being. Imagine him above your head. Present devoted prostrations with threefold faith. Offer as a mandala and without reservation your 3 gates, family, wealth, and all you possess. Then imagine that the protector guru's blessings descend as a stream of amrita which enters your crown and purifies all of the 3 and 5 poisons and the karmic obscuration. Through this, accumulation and purification will be achieved. Light rays from the Father Guru's 3 places purify your 3 gates obscurations and bestow blessings. Pray with a mind of unbearable longing and a body covered with goosebumps and tears. Blessings will definitely descend. This is the essence of all common and uncommon Dharma. The main thing is the awakened mind itself. When thoughts of external objects bewilder you, hold your awareness within self-cognition. As that is freshness, don't alter it. In other words, when you discover that you are distracted by or deluded by external appearances, take that awareness that is aware of the appearance and use it to look at itself. And that looking at itself is freshness, so requires no other alteration. Just rest freely in it. Don't delight in stillness and dislike movement. Cultivate the nature of whatever arises in your mind. This includes the essentials of all paths. Don't reject and adopt through hope and fear. Don't imprison that fresh awareness, that unaltered mind, in the net of intellect and concepts. Cultivate the yoga of sky-like freedom, vast and impartial. Correction and progress come from devotion. The Guru gives unfailing advice, the disciple applies it with trust. The result, omniscience, is placed in their hands. Your acquisition of this body's freedom and resources is meaningful. You've received a fine inheritance, the kindness of your Father Guru. You, my disciple, have done very well. I pray for the interdependence of us all, father and children, meeting frequently, either here or later in our Kanishta. These words were written on stainless, bright white paper by my son Matitishta in lamplight, as they were spoken by Terchen Barway Dorje. May dual benefit be spontaneous for all who see or hear them.
Tenendala Sacha takes Hyogosa knows. Sacha Hyogoya Kane Senatacha Dange Dege Kona Gor Dundunana Ma Chökyong Dawote, so takes a Gandrum Nyomne, Kana Kansam, Zot Sar. Tezot San, Kisel Dang Pondon Zoya Dawotang, Tanda Mexican, Tamanda Watina, Te Sachi Zonda Wat Kona Laman Nanjula Tene, Tene Concho Kunduki Mote, Lama La Samne, Terang Tone, Tene Kora Tatukin Devo Topic Tabla, Zonghin Davotat and Dag, takes that sugar of John the Masona, Kanakansam, Ya Song Savage, Nesun Davo. Tendere Dingin La Lobjon Yawa Mambo Indo. Tangaran Suchu Yankin Nala, one Kana Kantam Tunzuke, Corte, Les Lavola, Tondanda Hako Tunghe, Yojide Setini, Salva Mambo Yojide, Nesunda Wakare in Bahamugoki, Tende Davota, the La Yungitana in Iron. Chilo ne benata koran ta thinking tana yena yaro ta tende yo sigri te indu capsula chi sashi dawo chi shona tene sanje ge chundala tene pomuki yawa zange ge yawa tana bambo busin yencho kare yena yang te tomje la ta dehin himo ndoku yona chap Roa Samji Sanje Regin Te Sen Songati Te Indu Capsula Yewa Mepegitini Sanje Tatuke Lana Mepegitini Sanje Gindevote Top Tobati Tari Simni Tamjila Tati Yusin Tana Mamba was in Yola Yusin Sungyoris Te Sundu Capsula Ta Sung Yaba Samjiga Mari Tenete Samala Yoris, Yore Tenaya, Tajo Marik Passingin Tege, Deb Bodu, Ngao, Yumben Duhete Latine, Kazang and Gonan Song, Tende Junginge, Sodola, Tan Tondo Yoris and all, Teta Wachen and Tondo, Tenen Coandela, Toma Mepatang, Tama Mepanda Wachen, Tenet in the Chen Tondo Yori. Tate Tomke the Salvig Chetula. Tene Sofig Yang Tab Seng Nelo Kare Bate Ngon the Chunin Tatu Top Gen Devil Lana Mepa Top to big Tapshik Korjana Sunday Yodis. Te Indo Capsula Tene Jenny Sofig Semte Kora Sanjek Nimboji Yimba. Tene Semje Tomjela Yewa Mepa. Yons Zoba Tomjela Yoba Hakoya Teda Kik. Nini Taju Marik Palatene, Le Carissa Yoba Yenaya, take leg depatamji the Majawa Yena, Tene Tetabo on the Chum Subata, Tetabo on the Chilbek Chetala, Tali de Jaya Tam number not so bason depa yimba. Tondo Hakoya de Hidaka Karchimboris, Tetab Hakotopa Yena. Tene ngor sinken tege jumsen chen dok sambanda wa yongre tondo na wa ha ko mata bayina a tatila tonda hida mendo sambanda wa yongre te indu kapsula tende kobe ke yalde ke koran lende ke koge tem da bota tende soso ke tatum na te ape pen so boyone tenda ko ji kogo do.
Imagine if I didn't take the mic off. I think there's something about the context of these songs, these dialogues, that I had best make clear. As is probably obvious to many of you. Most of the disciples who wrote Barway Dorje requesting instruction had done quite a bit of practice and received quite a bit of instruction before doing so. So essentially, most of their particular requests are requests for two things: correction, the identification of errors in the way they're practicing, and enhancement, suggestions or advice about how they can progress further. Especially in the case of this last song that we just looked at, it's evident from the way that the request is made that what the student is actually requesting is how to use his conviction that his guru is a Buddha as a means to achieve ultimate awakening. And that's what Terchen Barway Dorje explains in his answer. So, as many of you understand, whether you're here or watching this online, these instructions are founded upon personal history with practice. And they're also founded upon a very specific attitude toward the relationship between being, per se, and life as we know it. The fundamental view here is that each and every being, whether we are at the moment a better person or a worse person, whether we are a human being or an insect, that each and every one of us has an identical nature. And that this nature, because it is an inherent, not only capacity for, but disposition to awakening and perfection, is fit to be called that, the nature of awakening, or Sugata Garbha, Buddha nature. It follows from this that inherently each and every being is equally capable of, and on a fundamental level, equally disposed towards Buddhahood. Now, this is, of course, a Buddhist doctrine or dogma, but it is more than a dogma because it actually describes the truth. However, there is a second thing that we also need to understand, that while that always is, always will be, and always has been the nature of each and every one of us, we are all deluded. And we are deluded by nothing other than our own ignorance of our own nature. But nevertheless, that delusion, as simple as it may sound, is sufficient to plunge us in life as we know it. Beginningless and potentially endless spinning, samsara. Therefore, all means of practice, of prayer, of supplication, of meditation, taught in the Buddhist tradition are all without exception means to dispel this delusion. So, the context for these songs really depends upon understanding these 2 points. That everyone has Buddha nature, and that everyone has everyone's Buddha nature is equally perfect. And secondly, that everyone is deluded, and unless we dispel that delusion, we will never reveal our own perfect Buddha nature. I mention this because if these two points are not understood as the underpinnings of these songs, then they sound practically meaningless. They sound like a lot of conversation about not very much. But they have great meaning if you understand these 2 points, and also if you take to heart the very practical advice concerning causality and the results of actions.
Zamboling la chulo jata mambo yore. Zamboling la chulo jata mambo yore. Chulo gade ki tawanda wache enan koro soso la hla yo wache. Hla te tenji jamne se chik la japsan doya che. Soso ta kona se chik la ta japsan dongkin. Chewa mato chiki tu namdayan tiki koma toya mewanda mutata te naijingi tanda manda mambo yore. Te nangpa sangye be chulu te ne ta tunduk samo da kakare de yore. Kakare de yore sena ta loju ta dembe ke jawa zogu sangye jomnen de tawa che yina yang. Tangbo pe na me kola chun, yasele chun. Tene ta kawa che ne tatuk ta menepe nyangen linde po kompana tobari. Toba samno mazi bache ke ta teke chenpe yeshe teke rowa semchen tamje te tene kora sanje ke nyingbo che yemba sanje topje ke jo chebar che na demba ta rangi marik pala tene tro sonwa te ta ngos la ngos sene yang ta pe lam na trip to ba yina ngarang so re re yendo la ta koro ton de sem mena mewa de mato sem yoba che yene zon te ta yon se zoba tamje te kora sanje re de yore yang ta pe ne lo la ta yon se zoba sanje ke ningbo che yimba tang sanje ngos Robjo yoba shadari mato jeke teni sanje ke koman sengin de pe masiba ta ringbo tu namda yang topju meba teni soa tap kada ta deti gonki ta tenda wachi zawa nyene reyo manes ngone sosu ke nyingdop tang sonru tang sherab ki jong toba yena se jik lu jik la songyo dojin chake kompang sanje ke hingbo lana meba te yang top to be tap cheparji lana meba tende yore sta tundu ne sonda bot sama po sonde yore.
There are hundreds of religious and spiritual traditions in the world. Many of them are founded on there being an inherent and unchangeable existential difference between the object of their worship and the community of the faithful. In many religions, there is posited the existence of a supreme being who is unlike and always will be unlike any other being. The best any other being can hope to achieve is by taking refuge in that supreme being, however that is phrased in the specific tradition, and in some cases pleasing that supreme being accepted as a worshiper in some exalted state of eternal worship. But in these religions, it is made clear from the beginning that there is no possibility whatsoever of any worshiper, no matter how diligent or how much faith they have or how much they please the supposed supreme being, there is no possibility of any of them becoming the same as that supreme being. The difference between a source of refuge and refugee is in most religious traditions a permanent existential difference. This idea is and always has been foreign to Buddhism. Buddhism has never, in any of its guises, accepted the notion of a permanent source of refuge that is other than the being seeking refuge, him or herself. Buddhism is based on the teachings of the historical Buddha, Shakyamuni or Siddhartha Gautama. He was a human being, born as a prince, which means the crown prince of a very small and relatively short-lived kingdom in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. He meditated with great effort, great intensity, and he came to recognize something. He came to recognize that what a mind really is, any mind, Buddha nature, is itself the cause of awakening. That was his recognition of how things are. He also recognized that each and every being, that this being case, each and every being has this Buddha nature. And that is his recognition of the extent of things. So we talk about the two wisdoms, knowledge of the nature of Dharmata and knowledge of its ubiquitousness or extent. Because he realized that, he also saw how ignorance of this Buddha nature causes suffering. Basically, we could say that what the Buddha discovered was that mind is Buddha nature. If you have a mind, you have Buddha nature, because mind is Buddha nature. There's no such thing as a mind without Buddha nature. Rinpoche said, if you don't have a mind, okay, then you don't have Buddha nature, but you're not you. You don't exist. If you have a mind, you have Buddha nature, because mind cannot be anything else. Therefore, if you work hard, you can achieve, as the Buddha demonstrated, Buddhahood in one life and one body.
다 랑종 정보 들고 속에 진도 단데 yenjigla labjayin banda tusum sangye kunde lama ye shalong nanjo ra semra shawa ye nyamcho pomme ye la penjir jongde jig na o sta da pomojigla labjayin banda
Lare yutru Rinpoche sewa chege semo ne.
ta pame sordo dejin den zamja gango ma shi rang Khunyu je nangwe ta pame ke sola jibo chen yona gango ma shi ne tene rang kobe ke na yo ba so da rang ju chongbon de tol tang je to ke pomo je ne chula Terchen me chen ne Mesen tongzi tenghon denche jendom somjing gan tang jongzi chula dewa lama yi kadi lutin chugor soba pama yi chamjong tamtik damba esong rangi la rale nonku chuta jiktin chaya tamchi rang thupa ndechi nomkunda geo ngoko mepa rangpin dropa ji sho teki pomo namlang drama la shaldam gepo Barway Dorje hintam to neso rangsem rangshi sama yoko tang delo langdo redo che chenzi samjik ne mepa rambap kyun tang Tatu Tanchi Nduk Nisu Hipang Yuda Rinpoche Semu Yengo Bardor Yige.
You dry and you true it.
Ah, yeah, what they want to be shown.
You true
All
you know, you true the Ying was a marwa, Kakachigan
of
So the next song is a reply to a response. I mean, sorry, it's a reply to a request, but it doesn't give the request. So the implication is that the request was made orally in person. And the colophon at the end says, written by Barway Dorje at the request of Yutru Rinpoche's daughter of virtue. Now, the importance of this, to whom it was written, is it's clear, as you'll see when we go through the song, that what this young woman asked for was instructions on identification of the mind's nature or resting in it. But Barway Dorje precedes that. He ends the song with that, but he precedes it with some general advice that is clearly appropriate to her particular situation. Now, what you need to understand about her situation was that although no doubt she lived as living in that country in that century required a life of what we would consider hardship and austerity, by the standards of the society in which she lived as the daughter of a recognized Rinpoche, she had some rank and some small kind of, we would say, social safety net, because he refers to that. My guru, the personification of the 3 times Buddhas, taught experiential Dharma that causes self-awareness to arise in the yogin's mind. I will speak of it a little to help your mind. Now, at your parents' side, you are comfortable. Yet not recognizing your own happiness, you create your own misery. Favorite daughter, tame your course continuum, your mind. Although you met Dharma at birth, your life has been wasted. Reflect on all you've done up to now. Your slight connection to Dharma is due to your guru's kindness. Your entrance into Dharma's gate is due to your parents' love. The keeping of samaya and vows is up to you. Actually, it would have been a better translation to say, Rinpoche just read it, whether you keep samaya and vows is totally up to you. All dharmic and mundane achievements depend upon independence. It brings present and future goodness. I ask you to benefit yourself without pretense. And the words he uses for without pretense mean without distinguishing between public and private. The young woman, Namlang Drunma, asked for advice. The old man, Barway Dorje, gave it from his heart. And now he deals with what she probably actually asked for. She probably didn't ask for that stuff. Cultivate the natural freedom of your mind's fresh self-recognition without change, addition, adoption, rejection, hope, fear, fixation, speculation, or analysis. You will definitely accomplish your ultimate aim. Now, although this section is very, very brief, if you read it carefully, you'll see that it's quite complete, because he explains what is to be cultivated, which is the freshness of your mind's experience of itself, recognition of itself, which is a state of natural freedom, as he's explained in previous songs. And the way to protect this cultivation from being interrupted is by avoiding changing, adding, introducing, rejecting, hoping for, fearing, fixating on, speculating about, or analyzing anything. And in that list, he actually explains all the things that we do that mess up meditation. So he concludes, you will definitely accomplish your ultimate aim. Written by Barway Dorje at the request of Yutru Rinpoche's daughter, Virtue.
Namung Guru Kadin change Lama la Kadin change Lama la Yimugu Dungwe So on dep some he puju tumbo nam tanjol tuzing la shuni dongwa dinghi nobu ling lamting ched si tamcho noncho lembala dama de hendo lekting chi mentun cheve long la su jik be chusi nyomoda kobe jansor missing chere sondu ju sajin long la ju shencha je tingdo pangbalek shencha je tingdo pangbalek nyambo sonkar dame do hlai charu kala thong gombe hlai na ta
Sai Jaro.
wala hlai charu kala thong gombe rinji yewol kot kana ge seje sa sunte tape kamsar chembai namji jimbe bangkor sim ker phame dongla nyering me hingi jimba chorita yi temu dai go tek
Go text and a go che in a top
go jal
go chat.
go kana je
Oh yeah.
temu da tek ta go je ya
Oh, go chat.
senen de tamna sen da cha zema jebur chung lo dangsem todor tambartup thado chökyong donggonja ngaja chere sene nyal nyomo kumbo zondo zon lomsem jejang pane se tesam je Bardor long chor redo je melon sandar pok Yeshe jebu sovar gom sem nom to yurde tenla kor nyamnyo ge sengor chala de zangi tab wala tang pala mepe riki du chö tapa che lagang sik ka zokpa chembu bomba yin chönam rangin chi tanshin rup chokun nyandup thadu chor longcho zoku wanghin kot tukun dodong kanshik tap yempen chö je samde ji ta chunyi landup temo chi ngakchung kunga jabu yi tende ngurma gosa hi sem mogu kurchil yakam pa thandum babu dorje te tam duma pela tebe lo ye kanshar susi zambon ne rahlong hanchang kunga yabu yebatar la kunga jalu
Oh, Jalu.
debe
Dela Jalu sir. Dela Jalu sir. Jalu sir.
oni kai ta tel kare kadung da madu hida ndaya kamandu pe janya yande do
The next one, Rinpoche just said it doesn't require that much commentary, but actually it will. It's one of those nautical songs. Not quite like Barnacle Bill was there. I'm sure you're all. Oh, no, it's on red. The song, the context is clear in the colophon, where Terchen Barway Dorje says, written by Barway Dorje at the request of my disciple, the mantra Darin Kungajalu. Now, mantra Darin means a practitioner of Vajrayana who is probably already a teacher in his own right, but is also a disciple of Terchen Barway Dorje. And it's clear, as you'll see in the song, that he wanted an auspicious song. Well, the song basically invokes what we could call, I'm trying to say this in a way that's not, kind of like a wish fulfillment, all the wish fulfillment fantasies of the medieval Indo-Tibetan cultural traditions. Not necessarily people's actual wish fulfillment fantasies, but just kind of like what the scriptures tell you. So, you know, there's there's getting on the ship, sailing off to an island with jewels, and bringing the jewels back and exchanging them for gold, and using the gold to become a king, and then you become a king, and then you everyone likes you, and then everyone likes you, so you become a Dharma king, and you teach, and you bring everyone to enlightenment, and you bestow empowerments on all your subjects, and like everybody's enlightened, and everybody lives happily ever after. So that's the analogy that he uses in the song. So if you're not familiar with these analogies, it's going to sound like weird. But what Terchen Barway Dorje does in this is he turns that analogy of, we would say, medieval wish fulfillment analogy into a spiritual instruction, which is not literally about renting a boat, going on the ocean, finding an island of jewels, coming back, becoming king, and then turning everyone enlightened. So, Namo Guru, kind Guru, I pray to you with devoted longing. My clever thinking disciples. So this is not just for that person, because he's making general points. Entering the boat of freedom and resources, row to the island of instruction's jewels. So as usual, the analogy for the precious human body endowed with freedom and resources is a boat or ship. And you use that ship to row to the island where you receive instruction in Dharma. And Dharma here is like the jewels you find on an island of jewels. Disregard the waves of fatigue. Take the best jewel, holy Dharma. This intention is excellent. In order to avoid the storm of death and the sea monsters of the kleshas, and so as not to drown in samsara's ocean, raise the sail of vigor to the wind. Cut the anchor of attachment. Constantly blow the white conch of remedy. Now, I don't know what constantly blowing a white conch when you're on ship is, maybe to alert other ships so they don't crash into you. Ahoy there! Release the raven of the gods into the sky. So that's like when you're on ship and you release a bird to find out if land is near, and if it comes back, it isn't. Wear the jewel of meditation on your crown. Okay, so that's going to the island and getting the jewels, and now apparently coming back. Carry the gold powder of karma. The word that I translated karma here is good and bad in Tibetan. So it means the gold powder, the wealth that the merchant now has, is the wealth of being able to make correct moral choices. Reach the dry land of liberation. Satisfy your dependents with fourfold generosity. There's a footnote. That's what I read about. Fourfold generosity is the giving of material things, protection, dharma, and love. All beings are equally your parents. Be impartial in compassionate generosity. Now then, there's the word, go drekpa can mean shaving the head or decapitate. And I thought it meant shave the head, which didn't make any sense, so it was kind of stupid of me, which is appropriate because the subject of the line is stupidity. And but Rinpoche said it means, so decapitate your enemy, stupidity. So the idea is now that you are you're a rich merchant becoming a king, you start to kill people you don't like. That's the next part of the thing. Of course, here it's your kleshas. So decapitate your enemy, stupidity. Bind the demon of greed with samaya. Strip naked the seductress of desire. Cut the poisonous snake of anger into pieces. Chop down the water tree or banyan tree of jealousy. Flatten the sandhill of pride. Imprison the thief of ignorance. Hunt down the wolf of vanity. Cast the dust of doubt to the wind. Banish the blind men of hope and fear. Is that what you do when you become a king? You find blind people and say, get out. That's just mean. Elect wisdom as your leader. Enslave the people, your thoughts. Collect from them, from your thoughts, the gold and silver of meditation experience as their taxes. Receive the tribute of labor free from good and bad, and wisdom free from adoption and rejection. Build the temple of Dharmic learning. Commission the scriptures of the great perfection. Perform the deeds of benefiting yourself and others. Complete the approach and accomplishment of the Dharmakaya. Bestow the great empowerment of the Sambhogakaya. Dance the Nirmanakaya dance of being's benefit. Dispense the Samaya substance of helping others. Such is the great spectacle of spontaneous dual benefit. The Mantradar Kunga Jalu said, I need an auspicious song. With devotion, this wanderer, Terchen Barway Dorje, composed this song of analogies for our ultimate goal on a good day, as it occurred to me. So in the song, Kunga Jalu is depicted as being a very busy boy.
Nanjur kama Chökyong Guryu the Purwas, Taya Nanjur Patik Pevno.
No.
Guryu the Purwa, Namo Goto, Bender Daraye, Pald, Rigi Chabda Heruka, Chab Summit, Tinkin Dorjin Chang, Bon, Tenda Kwami, Patik J, Tom Messi, Niwu, Permondo. Ten kumbang chusuk karchong rangyu tang tombe nyamyu ne sta konke sosuge yu ta tombe ke ta jajong karinda ochong yina teke nyamyu ti pawa yin nyamyu ne semye je nansur ndatar chung stu kamga gosam tadil ki tato ge namto Chökyong tenzi top yin teke ngang yin tamayin yin tamayin tenzi te remo chechin sandap tang tagu tomi ten tagu tomi temete deduga nansur nansur ndendamend deduga nansur ndendame saysan ndendamenda singechilo kade deduga nansur
De Dramendra.
ndam
Tunchi namda.
deduga nansur ndamenda saysan wande samadi nansur ndamenda tenchi namda tuyirin juru tu lengar yenchi namto ke jin Poka Jigdin Chöcheta Yen Poka Jigdin Chöcheta Te Jing Zosi Mission Jing Doso Jitunga Togo Ngam Ter Rikbetse Nyamja Tang Tichu to Samjang Wang Me Bal Tandu Nyushu Tandu Nyush shoot up Shendanda Lada took Simni Jun Chungap Redo Tang Pamya Lonatu Te Chadan Deja Mebasara Deyin Sodan Desome Demi Sesam Kota Chu Yemi Bardor Chamachu Machu Jang Tegar Najo Tar Ranju La Tate Ranyam La Chisharje Nyamju Changbo Yin Je Pachi Lama Jalatu Semye Janto Chökyong Yeshe Chawa Shomashi Lariyang Rangsam Rangyu La Dajin Yang Som Che Dongbol Sol Lam Yigeti Zokin Kata Ngormashi Domsam Ngoto Nawan Hu He
The next exchange is between a yogin named Karma Chökyong and Barway Dorje. And it's clear from the terminology used by Karma Chökyong and by his request that he is a practitioner of cutting through or breakthrough, the primordial purity aspect of the great perfection. And so in a modest style, having expressed his devotion, he describes the three main things he experiences when he meditates. Namo Guru Vajradharaye, glorious Heruka, Lord of the 100 families, infallible refuge, supreme guide, Vajradhara, single father, kind beyond recompense, who abides in the lotus of my heart, I bow to you. Your devoted disciple, Karchu, that's an abbreviation of Karma Chökyong, is a mere semblance of a Buddhist. I will, however, describe my experience as I understand it. This is how my mind itself has appeared to me. In other words, the following three things are what happens when I meditate. Sometimes the thoughts connected to my three gates activities are caught by recollection. Recollection is what we would usually translate as mindfulness. I don't know why, 2006, I took against the word mindfulness. So I started saying recollection, but not realizing that people think it means memory, which actually the word does mean in Sanskrit and Tibet, but anyway, all right, mindfulness. So he's saying sometimes I become aware, mindfully aware of what my body, speech, and mind are doing and of the thoughts that are otherwise present. In that state, it is mindfulness that, and here in this next line, he pairs the word mindfulness, Zhen, with Zi, which means herdsman, like the shepherd of mindfulness, so to speak. In that state, it is mindfulness that separates distraction and its absence, as well as clarity and obscurity, success and failure, high and low, and stability and instability. The diversity of happiness and misery is like the changing of the seasons. So the first experience he describes is one where he is fairly mindful and can remain more or less undistracted by the thoughts that arise, but there's still a lot of fluctuation and things change. The second experience, sometimes I think of others' faults and am defeated and worldly. This makes me impatient. So he can't stop thinking about others' faults. And then he realizes he's thinking about others' faults and that he can't stop thinking about others' faults. And then he feels bad about that. So he starts out by being impatient with others, and then he becomes impatient with himself for being impatient with others. Thoughts of the 5 poisons flow wildly. When awareness returns, now here he means pure awareness. When pure awareness returns, I think of even placement and cutting through. So in other words, when he recovers from that distraction, he tries to return to the practice of cutting through. But I'm powerless. It is like riding a wild horse. In other words, his kleshas have become so strong that he can't control the horse of his mind. So those are 2 different experiences. And then the third one seems to be what happens most of the time. Usually, when cultivating my mind itself, there are no ideas such as hope, fear, success, failure, or intention. There is no thought, this is it. There is also no unresolved doubt, this isn't it. It is beyond both this is it and this isn't it. Nevertheless, it is indescribable. This is a frank account of my own experience as best I understand it. Lord, Single Father, when I was in your presence, although I tried to tell you how my mind itself appears, I became unable to say anything. Notice he got tongue-tied. Afterward, I examined myself repeatedly and wrote this so-called offering of realization. I asked for a song about the great perfection, primordial purity. Please point it out with profound instructions.
He should be ye len sumba, start taking tela len sumba tela. Pal denda mepe yesuni. Gon save lama hinindu. Chö namjurje Gyamtso chavathur. Da gepor chila len soba. Nenju gaduk sokane, nenju gaduk sokane, reto tang tarzi gepoti, dolenje tangla, shatang chi, sa jangi pal lang maji jik hajang palang maji jik rang rik pretende rang so shu der nang migyu chulapte tondo je tona papar mendo par tuna sosurni mendo par tuna sosurni to nga semla shavanda serenki sewu pandumi semni ngar ndang nyomonde semni rang nyomonde to sang maje jononze to sang maje jononze de pani jondo matawat rani ke jendo robena dan Yeshe naso ranshali sem nam to gendong gajume ringdo pe Trendo Narjo Ta Terchen Barway Dorje Mate Hinrang Ransar Yana Tong Nendo Jireve Chashorta Meneje Tozon Rishorni Sem Reda Trupe Jenche Jing Sem Ngome La Dotang Wame Sem Rizona, Nejin Chawame, Kanshaking over John Show, Don't there some men, and the mean, Chamete, Semje Nello, Yemetana, Kota Chu, Semtang, Noa, Ye Dune, Majeshin Chemichi, Chegini, Chungyol Tang, Tabe, Ganeta, Tengo, Yeton. Chamboy, the Chuku Gomba, Tato La, Dang Manga, Nang Yor, Jayan Health, Sarangi, Longjo Zokur Health, Tugi Chonto, Namtoni, Cheta Gun Tuku, Robert De, Terango Hena Kusumzo, Ma La, Donduk Jolam Samjeto, Sampaio something more. There's a job mapping on the show. You made the touch of Jeremy. You made the docker, Chedome, Tom Mepe, Teta, Matana, Talamji, Semi, Jambande, Chazo Uma Chidini, Cho Nanjur Tagum, Sunday. Yes, certain ranking. Tembe, Lam Jedu Deju Chökyong, Song of Töndar, Song of Töndar, Salmon Nanjula, Chökyong Chökyong Yönten, Barway Dorje Pura Gay, nothing.
Zabdrat night, didn't it? Jelzoe. Come though.
Kare Yawa Joyan.
Don't carry your job, the paid and pitching it out Sunday. So, this, the Terchen Barway Dorje's answer is well, first of all, he starts with a set of analogies or images that are related. And one of the issues that he focuses on from the request is the issue of, as in many other songs, of the relationship between stillness and movement in the mind, and how hard it is to transcend a preference for the one over the other, and therefore how much hope and fear tends to intervene in meditation. So as long as he's talking about that, and he begins with that, he uses the analogy of our preferences as being like a dwelling. And awareness, and he's picked up this term ziwa, or herdsman, from the request. Awareness being like a herder who is free of hope and fear and leaves that safe dwelling of preference of stillness and fear of movement, but then gets exhausted in the valley of adoption and rejection. And then he answers this. But then he gives pretty direct and advanced instruction in cutting through. And there's not that much to add to it, even if I understood it. The Lord's reply: glorious, peerless, noble Lord and protector, root guru, I bow to you from my heart. Yogin, you inquired about experience and realization. This old man will answer you. From the fortress of delight in stillness and dislike of movement, the old herder, without hope and fear, set out. He became exhausted in the valley of adoption and rejection. Don't accept and discard too much. Let the herder, self-awareness, stay put. The mirage waves of these appearances move farther away if you thirst after them. They come back if you flee them in dislike. The radiance of the 5 poisons in your mind is like the yellow radiance of gold, inseparable. These kleshas, your mind's radiance, are poisonous, yet they greatly beautify a peacock. Don't see them as mental defects to be abandoned. If you enjoy them as self-awareness's ornaments, their radiance will arise as diverse wisdoms. There is no reason to stop your mind's coming and going. The desire to know, the desire to flee, cause fatigue. Look now. You see nothing. There's nothing there. Don't look. If you rest in place, you'll see. The restless hope for stillness and the dull fear of movement make the deer of mind flee. But the mind is nothing. It can't really come or go. Your mind is awareness emptiness. It contains nothing called stillness. Please sustain the nature of whatever arises. If there is no goal, there is no fixation. Nothing to do is your mind's true nature. If you're free from this is it and this isn't it, you've resolved it. Your mind and appearances have from the beginning been unborn. Birthlessness is their nature itself. Because they've no origin, they're primordially pure. Their nature is great primordial emptiness. This is the ultimate meaning of the Dharmakaya. Its unlimited radiance arises as any appearance. Its display arises as the natural Sambhogakaya. The play of its compassion is thought. Whether coarse or subtle, they are all the play of Nirmanakaya. If you recognize yourself, the Trikaya is complete. In all your conduct, walking and sitting, sustain your mind through mere attention. Rest without artifice or alteration. There is no it is or it isn't to be resolved. There is no point in the exaggeration and disparagement, or we could say denial, of existence and non-existence. If you never forget this pointlessness, your naked, ordinary mind itself is Mahamudra, the great perfection, and the middle way rolled into one. This is a clarification of your view in meditation, Yogin. The ground is precious morality, the ground of the teachings. The path is generation, completion, repetition, and recitation, Dharma's life. May the ultimate fruition, the four bodies, be spontaneously accomplished. At the behest of the Yogin of the profound, Karma Chökyong, these words were offered by Barway Dorje, virtue. So we'll devote the last 18 minutes to questions and answers.
Yes?
Hey, where's the mic? Rinpoche, is the realization of emptiness, is that free of thought or non-thought? Is there ever a state? I mean, they mention non-thought in some of the songs of Milarepa, so realization of emptiness.
You mean, do those two terms mean the same thing? Or is the absence of thought an attribute of the realization of emptiness?
That's the question.
That one, okay. That the Tombanyi Ngonsumdo taught na de number me to be Yeshe. This song do. Children so kong the Tony talk sana namto kiyo le debarebe.
Only to sengente, one ge kaya mewaji, to young yobaji, some not done the bodies.
Loso.
And my Kona Yoba man, Javajam,
Loso.
some of these. In a young corner, to Mato, Ning, Nelo, and travel get that dog was your more singing. Kona taking talent there by Gilata, the Tandati, say all these.
It's he says, in a way, but not if what you're thinking is that it's the realization or the discovery of a state of absolute nothingness or absolutely nothing. It's actually says it's the recognition of a it's the recognition of and by a self-recognizing awareness that is neither thinking nor not thinking.
That's
very important to understand.
Then the kind of don't sang not to be king his. Then some of dancing way in that is our in the Manduparis. Tay in the castle, Sargent, Tomba, Tom Yen, the Sava, Saturn, only you Nello, young Tabanda, what you thought to go your tepe, kitchen bodies. Dalangahuma, Tampe, here use. Tanda, and though room take la machinchi on this. That take a tango room, but you couldn't need same was sugar. Then call Tanda kind of Tandandi, or bag Hondo, or bag Hondo the Yag, the Hondo the Hugh.
Opak ngandro yamare.
Or bag Hondo the cutting Hondo, conjuncting the
Konchuchin do
that
yansa.
on the Tendetic.
Ore. Zokching ngandro chik.
Hondo today. Take you Hondo the Ya, that was someone dead, Wako. That's someone dead. The court, near my jail court, and down. Caught that caught something get the candle soon. That's on the court and the gum did the capsule. Oh, tongue de your same tongue de your that decorate in something in the put touching it in the
That story never makes any sense to Westerners because we all think here, but I'll tell it anyway. But anyway, it's important to understand this point because when we use terms like great non-conceptual wisdom and even the term emptiness itself, Rinpoche said, we can't help because these things do sound like nothing, like vacuity, like a mere absence. We can't help but imagine that. So when we start to meditate, we often try to force our minds into a state of vacuity. And that's why Sakya Pandita made his famous criticism, which Jungaloja Tai quotes in The Torture of Certainty, because he says in the Mahamudra chapter, he says, Sakya Pandita said, most fools who meditate on Mahamudra are reborn as animals. And people find that criticism upsetting. But his point is, the key point here is fools. If you're naive and you meditate on these things and you try to shut out all thoughts, then you've strayed. Because the path itself, what you're cultivating, Rinpoche said, is not vacuity. It's an empty lucidity. A lucidity that is aware of itself, but is empty of anything other than awareness, or so therefore you'd say empty. Yeah. And then he told a story. He said there was a cook at Rumtek Monastery who asked Khenchen Trungpa Rinpoche for the pointing out instruction. So Rinpoche asked him to do one of the Dzogchen Ngondros, Kunchu Chindu or one of the others, and he did it. And then Rinpoche said to him, he said, okay, now I want you to look at your mind and tell me, what is your mind like? What is your mind? So he went back and he tried to look at his mind, and he came back to see Trungpa Rinpoche, and he said, well, I think I found it. And Rinpoche said, the guy must have been concentrating, trying to find the location of his mind and its attributes and so on. And as he calmed down in this state of concentration, he became more and more aware of his own heartbeat. And so he said, I found the mind. It's that thing that when you're very quiet, it goes boom, 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 boom. Yeah. He said, that's not the mind either. That had nothing to do with your question, but it's a fun story.
I guess part of what I was looking for is, this constant waves of thought. Is there any point in one's path to realization where there's relief from that? That's what I was...
Ngātsu letampo pe kapsa te nanto ki jun barma chepa yore. De lang hangrung te nganda sawayana de kala yaldro grepes.
Yeah, your money.
Lasso.
Nom to tanjing anang sabo shusong. Nom to ngo chukur song baji. Jing my jing chawala sing it. Te in the castle, Yadoya Yomadi, that telling an answer, Tande Galet Carrior, Namto tela pe masibe hemba hukya moyori. Namto zango charwa ina tate pe masibe zango yago yimbe ke hemba ta zimba nika chali yori. Namto dukja charwa ina tate dukja magoba dukbo ki yimbe ke tinya te ta duhe hukyambo ki yori. Te ganga te ta yu malawari. Ngone te kare gowari se na. Namto zangbo ji xarwa yina ya. Xarwa ngo te la. Ranghin ge ya ne. Zanghen ge namto yamba kanya majewa jik tang. Namto ngamba ji xarwa yina ya. Xarwa rang ge ngo te la. Ranghin ge ya ne. Tene zanghen ge namto yanda kanya majewa chena. Tende chena ta kona roto gogo yore. Pena chola labi yongwe ke kapsula ranghin ke che tamgol de chola pi yongwe yore. Te ngana so tende chola te tega rang rendo tenge yore. Te yoma de dabjang kansan man rosa ware. Ke chi nyepa pache kyonga nyeshu jata sagi ya chola te rete yore. Tela yan zimba kaya mendo was ranghin ke jondo mendo was. Te nanghi ke ngana nomto ke zimba te tan na. Tene sem togo tege kanya kyong ma res. Te yu go re ma to te mewa ina te one tane kona hendo ina ta ro re yo ma ro ma to ye te mele re yo ma re.
Briefly, when you die. Yeah. There's a brief period in your when you die that you won't be thinking. No, that was he gave that at the end, but it was the punchline, so I thought he should give it at the beginning because I know. Right? No, thoughts will never disappear, and we don't need them to disappear. And this is why, as I mentioned earlier today, when I quoted from the lineage supplication, it said, "The nature of thought is dharmakaya. Nothing whatsoever it can yet appear as anything." Thoughts are not the problem. The stream of thoughts that runs through our minds is not our problem. Our problem is that we cling to the contents of our thoughts. When a pleasant thought arises in our mind, we cling to it, we try to hold on to it, prolong it. When an unpleasant thought arises in our mind, we try to suppress it and avoid it. But if you simply rest within the thought that is present at any given moment within your mind, it doesn't matter whether it's a pleasant thought or an unpleasant thought. Because by resting within the thought itself, a subsequent repetition of that thought. So the pleasant thought will not lead to a second pleasant thought. The unpleasant thought will not lead to a second unpleasant thought. And in that our thinking is thoughts that persist through time. But in fact, each of these thoughts is different. Their similarity is because we cling to them. In that respect, Rinpoche said, they're like the waves on the surface of the ocean. When we think of the waves, we imagine that it's the same wave coming at us again and again. But each wave is quite different. In the same way, the appearance of a thought or presence of a thought in your mind does not necessitate or itself cause the appearance of a subsequent thought. We do that through clinging and repression.
A quick question to you, Yeshe. When you've been reading back to us, you sometimes explicitly tell us, I'm revising this section of the text.
Yeah.
But then also when you've been reading back, you've sometimes inserted a word here or there.
Well, I've inserted Rinpoche's comments. Sometimes they're Rinpoche's comments, and sometimes it's things that I think are better than what I thought then.
So we should understand it to be the revised up to
Not necessarily.
Oh.
I mean, a real revision would be a whole thing, and that's probably never going to happen because I've got so much new material that I'm.
So it's best to take it then
Yeah.
at this moment. Okay.
Okay, so this is from online. If, as you said earlier, thoughts themselves have no inherent positive or negative qualities, but rather the karmic imprint results from either trying to hold on or suppress thoughts, what about actions which cause harm to others, but which we may not think about at all? For example, a butcher or insect exterminator who doesn't give any thought to their actions. Maybe they're thinking about other things or listening to music. On what basis do they get the negative karma?
Ndena namdo ngondo drowa chere lo. Pena sentient seken ambu seken de so ke seha ke namdo yeshinder.
nga mbole ya to yang ken sa labudo. Jenga gite kono yo kado.
They have the thought, the recurrent thought, I am an exterminator. I poison bugs, or I am a butcher, I slaughter cattle, or whatever it is. I mean, they do have that thought. In between having that thought, they may be listening to their iPod or whatever, but they still have that thought because they're engaging in intentional action. They in a lay sagarebe. Yep, there will be karmic consequences because it's an intentional or volitional action.
Thank you, Rinpoche. The nature of thought is often linked to the nature of language. And lately I've been trying to work on freeing my thinking of words. Is that a misdirected notion? Does that affect anything at all, or is it just my own vanity thinking that it will? And ignorance.
Chitongso ngatso ke namtok samsul tang kesha lapso la java yore. Pana samlo tongdo so ke mongchao ke so ke de payu ke ke kanyamba de ton samlo tong yore. Tik jao ke peje ton samlo tong yore. De sik peje matongwa ke samlo tonya yore pes.
Se pejo matongwa ke samlo tanya.
Yo go to dondro ke namto yoro.
Yo go yori. Pena ta pena kuwa tono ina. Samlo yoro. Tono dawo ina.
Dondro la pesha na gajere.
Pe tono yan do no wa.
Well, you know, the yaga marwa. Yaga do. Well, non-linguistic thinking is certainly possible because there is conceptualization by beings who do not use language, such as pre-verbal humans and animals. But it's not preferable. It's not any better. That came out sounding silly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's just I feel like language is so restrictive, and each language is different in how it expresses itself. So if I were to meditate in Spanish, it would be different from doing so or thinking in English or Tibetan. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Pena de kashege ke mombo sheken doa.
No.
Detso yena tene pena pake mayemba ke shena mombo sheken yena de konungchi la samlotona sambates jogere. Bakshake ke joyoro.
Njo do.
Des jogodo. Des jogodo.
Ope na gom jap singe.
De dang inji
Inji na meditation singe tis yogundo.
Des jogodo. Samson jogodo.
Ta tek sin yona ya sawada de jiwama.
So there could be a slight difference between how you would think, if you're multilingual, how you would think in one language as opposed to another, but But I think Rinpoche said that the difference is actually superficial.
Yes.
So this is actually something I've thought about for a while. So like if I'm going to think a sentence in my head, I usually know what the sentence is going to be before I say all the words in my head, right? So does it make sense to just, okay, cut it off before I actually, think in my head at each one of the words of the sentence? I wonder if that's kind of getting at the same idea, right? Because the knowledge is there, but saying it out in words in my head seems to be a little bit.
There must be something
extraneous.
wrong with the way I think, because I don't, I don't experience that. I remember a nonverbal time and how I thought, and it's gotten no better. So you think each sentence twice?
No.
You have the preformed sentence and then you run it, kind of?
Well, usually I'll be like, oh, I was saying this. I had this chain of words that I was going to say in my head, but I realized, well, I mean, if you think the word "the" in your head, like you can kind of have an auditory, almost like "the," but you can have a knowledge of what you were going to say beforehand. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Kids are
crazy.
the some not on the Rinpoche ngone ke tola the budget 60 and then the shagi har pe ngala shagman do ngala de do ngat cheraman do yeah, neither of us have this experience of the words appearing. I asked Rinpoche, I said, when you think, do you have like concrete, like coherent Tibetan sentences arising as though you were writing them or saying them in your head? And he said, no, I don't have that. I don't have that.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
I mean, I don't much anymore, but there was a time where I was, I would.
Ngala
If you're organizing your thoughts.
Yeah.
ngala poik la mendo inje la mendo stop de wore do.
He said that, it's my thinking is very, very simple. Neither Tibetan nor English, nothing. I don't talk to myself in either language. I mean, if you're preparing a lecture, like you're thinking about what to say, then I can see what you're talking about. Otherwise, I don't know.
It's good. It's a good one. Ya won to.
Yep.
Onang in the chane yige gang shadow mo sa no.
So you've got like a what do they call it? A chyron? That thing that runs at the bottom of the CNN? Chiron? Chiron? It's got a name. It's Chiron. Chiron? You've got a chyron in your head, in your brain. That's really nice. Who's Kathy?
Hello. As a sidebar, you talked about that we all have Buddha nature and that us and the insects, we can all be the object of our devotion or the same as a Buddha. But we're also taught that Guru Rinpoche had a miraculous birth and all these miracles that happened in his life, which make him seem very different than us. And
You mean like he had a head start?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like even if you're like born in Tibet and we're meditating as a little kid, and Lama Trato had a head start on us.
Yeah.
So in that time, I feel a little bit self-defeating, but I keep slugging through it anyway. So I don't feel like I have the same stuff. I believe that it's in there somewhere, but I don't. Okay.
That tanya chandong atsoki kelangi ore. Jene kundu zambo yenchi simbo menche deshi nimbo chikpa chikchong yore songido.
Right.
Inang samno geje samno tongwa yana pena guru rinpoche la pe shapa yana ku trungsul de mele chepa do papa dang. Dene de trung matat ne jangchu topa la sapa dana dene ngatso nanjen ke tsurwa chenpo gone lamdru magopa ke kansare dang. De pe chenpo dere nyechane pena bechi dampe chudenji ji metsang de go chewa langken pena lama trato nanshin chi yana dene advantage yore de ngatsa tsama de shik nimpo yapa de tanye tsam de chikpa yana gokap chikpa yo mare
Chikbaris, Chapario Mani, Guru Rinpoche, Pemenana, Tonya, Kora, Jene Hicken, Jene Hickenaneta, Jene Tabada was the mato, the Genetis. Then I can tone denking, pen iron de Walasoma Marwe. Then the Gumek to Kinroguna, then tone there were Kanakam Yoris. Then the penna Guru Rinpoche and Tong yonder ne. Tene chata yonde tamje dende batte yondo te jetang ta kora sanje de chanjo se metu ba yembe ke tola tene yamang honsong ke to ne pu song are matong ho no man ko wala tene tegata kora yonde ke jitawani ne yomare so da so ta zamboleng de la chepa de pa pege ta kora jewa chenje yoba yena yang tela yanda mandawa ke Kande te yoba yena yang te jangwa hansong ke to ne yo la ten in deva in yongo ne mando yo me pen deva singi ta ta wani yong yo ma.
There's not as much difference between you and Guru Rinpoche as you might think. To talk about birth, it said that Guru Rinpoche was born instantaneously, appeared in a lotus, which is considered one of the 4 types of birth. We've got womb birth, egg birth, heat and moisture birth, and instantaneous birth. And because it doesn't involve the usual process of gestation, we think of instantaneous birth, like Guru Rinpoche and Aryadeva and apparently several others, as pure in some way. But see, he was still born. He wasn't there, and then he was there.
Dewa chen shingom ne yong ke ga me to nan jeong no.
Yeah, everybody who's born in Sukhavati is born that way. And then the fact that he had this tremendous, what would you say, manifest capacity for spirituality from early age simply means that he was someone who had practiced in previous lifetimes. He had that disposition. So it's not like he got it, it's not like he got something that we didn't get or that we won't have. It's just that he did it before. It's just a question of who went before and who went after. But he started out with the same stuff that you have, that we all have. There's no difference.
No free ride.
Dutsu Drossel.
Oh, all of the town.
Sunam deye tamje zerba nye tone nyebe ranam bamje kenga naje bala troba simbe tsole rowa yoy gewa deye jewog Sunam Yeshe Zozo de Suna Yeshe de Zon Damba Genye Doba Joy Sanjay Sinne Ramboji Maji Banai Jijir Jiba Nyamba Mebata Kuni Gonda Gava Joy Semje Tamje Dedai Dinjurje Ngendoi Tamje Tade Tomba Yo Sanjay Sambai Ganda Sayo Dedai Ganje Mala Gava Joy Sanjay Thank you.